There were two massive rock slides this week at El Capitan, the formation in Yosemite National Park that draws hikers and climbers from around the world. One person was killed.
Is Yosemite about to explode? The iconic national park has been rocked by a series of earthquakes, causing massive rock slides and reshaping its famous landscapes. El Capitan is crumbling, hiking trails are disappearing, and the ground is literally shifting beneath visitors' feet. Park officials are issuing urgent warnings as seismic activity continues to intensify. But what's really going on beneath Yosemite's surface? Could this be the beginning of something far more catastrophic? A natural wonder, shaped by time and turmoil. Yosemite's story begins long before humans set foot in its lush valleys. Millions of years ago, the land that would become Yosemite was nothing more than a flat plain. Then, through the immense forces of plate tectonics, the Sierra Nevada began to rise. As the mountains pushed skyward, rivers carved deep valleys, and glaciers sculpted the landscape, creating the dramatic scenery we see today. The human history of Yosemite is just as fascinating. Native American tribes, including the Ahwahnechee, called this place home for thousands of years. They named it Ahwahnee, meaning big mouth, a fitting description for the vast, yawning valley. It wasn't until 1851 that the first non-Native Americans, led by Dr. Lafayette Bunnell, stumbled upon this hidden paradise. Bunnell, awestruck by the valley's beauty, named it Yosemite, a mispronunciation of the native word for grizzly bear. As word of Yosemite's splendor spread, it caught the attention of artists, photographers, and nature enthusiasts. Their depictions of the park's grandeur captivated the nation, leading to a groundbreaking decision. In 1864, in the midst of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Yosemite Grant. This landmark act set aside Yosemite Valley and Mariposa Grove for public use and preservation. The first time in U.S. history, that land was protected for its natural beauty. The creation of Yosemite National Park in 1890 marked another pivotal moment in conservation history. It became the third national park in the United States, following Yellowstone and Sequoia. This designation ensured that Yosemite's wonders would be preserved for future generations to enjoy and explore. At the heart of Yosemite's allure are its iconic landmarks. El Capitan, a sheer granite monolith rising 3,000 feet from the valley floor, challenges the world's best climbers. Half Dome, with its distinctive rounded shape, stands sentinel over the park. And then there are the waterfalls: Yosemite Falls, Bridal Veil Fall, Vernal Fall, each a spectacle in its own right, drawing visitors from around the globe. But Yosemite is more than just pretty scenery. It's a complex ecosystem teeming with life. The park spans over 750,000 acres and encompasses 5 major vegetation zones, from chaparral woodlands to alpine tundra. This diversity of habitat supports an incredible array of plant and animal species. Black bears roam the forests, mountain lions prowl the backcountry, and over 400 species of birds fill the air with song. Among Yosemite's most famous residents are the giant sequoias. These ancient behemoths, some over 3,000 years old, stand as living giants in groves like Mariposa. Walking among these trees, some of the largest living organisms on Earth, is a humbling experience that connects visitors to the vast scale of geological time. Yosemite's geological marvels aren't just on the surface. The park sits atop a complex network of faults and fractures, remnants of its tumultuous formation. This geological activity continues to shape the park today, sometimes in dramatic ways. Rock falls are a common occurrence, with chunks of granite occasionally thundering down from the cliffs, reshaping the landscape in real time. In recent years, Yosemite has faced new challenges. Climate change threatens to alter the delicate balance of its ecosystems. Wildfires, once a natural part of the forest life cycle, have become more frequent and intense. And the sheer number of visitors, over 4 million annually in recent years, puts pressure on the park's resources and infrastructure. Despite these challenges, Yosemite remains a place of wonder and inspiration. It's a living laboratory where scientists study everything from glaciology to botany. It's a playground for adventurers, whether they're scaling sheer cliff faces or simply hiking through meadows bursting with wildflowers. And for many, it's a spiritual retreat, a place to reconnect with nature and find peace in its ancient groves and thundering waterfalls. Yosemite's significance extends far beyond its boundaries. The park has played a crucial role in shaping America's conservation ethic. The efforts to protect Yosemite inspired the creation of other national parks and helped spark a global movement to preserve natural wonders. Today, Yosemite stands as a symbol of what's possible when we choose to protect rather than exploit our natural heritage. As we look to the future, Yosemite faces both opportunities and challenges. How will the park adapt to a changing climate? Can it balance the needs of millions of visitors with the preservation of its delicate ecosystems? And what new wonders might we discover as we continue to study and explore this remarkable place? One thing is certain: Yosemite will continue to evolve, just as it has for millions of years. Whether shaped by the slow grind of glaciers or the sudden jolt of an earthquake, change is a constant in this dynamic landscape. Which brings us to a pressing question: what recent seismic activity has been shaking things up in Yosemite, and how might it be reshaping this beloved park? Tremors in paradise. Imagine you're standing beneath the towering granite cliffs of Yosemite Valley when suddenly, the ground beneath your feet begins to tremble. This scenario became a reality for visitors and residents alike as Yosemite National Park experienced a series of significant earthquakes in 2024. But what exactly happened, and what does it mean for this natural wonder? The seismic activity in Yosemite began on April 14, 2024, with a magnitude 4.2 earthquake. The epicenter was located near the southern edge of Yosemite Valley, a bustling hub of tourist activity. Visitors reported feeling the ground shake for 10 to 15 seconds, accompanied by a low, ominous rumbling. While this quake was strong enough to be felt, it didn't cause severe damage. However, this was just the beginning. On May 6, 2024, a stronger tremor struck. This time, the earthquake registered a magnitude of 4.6, with its epicenter near the park's western boundary, close to the entrance at El Portal. The shaking lasted longer, about 20 seconds, and was felt more widely across the park. In stores and visitor centers, items tumbled from shelves, creating a chaotic scene. The most powerful quake hit on May 25, 2024. Measuring 4.8 on the Richter scale, this earthquake's epicenter was near the northeastern part of the park, close to Tuolumne Meadows. The tremor lasted an alarming 30 seconds, with people describing the sensation as akin to being on a boat in rough waters. This quake was so powerful that it was felt not only throughout Yosemite, but also in areas outside the park. These earthquakes, while not catastrophic, left their mark on Yosemite's landscape and infrastructure. Popular hiking trails, especially those near El Capitan and Half Dome, were affected by rockfalls and landslides. Park officials had to temporarily close some trails for safety inspections and debris removal. Roads, particularly those leading into Yosemite Valley and around Tuolumne Meadows, developed cracks and suffered minor damage. The park's buildings weren't spared either. Visitor centers and lodges experienced structural damage, with cracks appearing in walls and foundations. Some older structures suffered more noticeable damage, necessitating repairs to ensure visitor safety. Even campgrounds felt the earth's tremors, with some sites near Tuolumne Meadows requiring temporary closure due to ground movement. Intriguingly, the earthquakes had some unexpected effects on Yosemite's natural features. The park's famous waterfalls, including Yosemite Falls and Bridal Veil Fall, experienced a temporary increase in water flow immediately after the quakes. Scientists believe this was due to the shaking dislodging ice and snow from higher elevations, which then melted and swelled the waterfall's volume. But why is Yosemite experiencing this uptick in seismic activity? The park sits within the Sierra Nevada Fault Zone, a series of faults running along the eastern edge of the Sierra Nevada mountain range. While Yosemite isn't as seismically active as some parts of California, it's no stranger to earthquakes. The recent tremors are part of the ongoing geological processes that have shaped the park for millions of years. Seismologists from the United States Geological Survey, or USGS, have been closely monitoring the situation. Their data suggests that these quakes may be part of a swarm, a series of earthquakes occurring in a local area within a short period. Such swarms are not uncommon in tectonically active regions like the Sierra Nevada. The USGS has installed additional seismometers in and around Yosemite to gather more detailed data on these earthquakes. This information is crucial for understanding the underlying geological processes and assessing potential future risks. Preliminary analysis indicates that the recent quakes are likely related to stress buildup along the Sierra Nevada fault zone. But more research is needed to fully understand the mechanisms at play. While these earthquakes have caused concern, they've also provided a unique opportunity for scientists to study Yosemite's geology in action. Researchers are using advanced technologies like LiDAR, aka light detection and ranging, to create detailed 3D maps of affected areas, allowing them to track even minute changes in the landscape over time. The seismic activity has also sparked renewed interest in Yosemite's geological history. Geologists are revisiting evidence of past earthquakes preserved in the park's rock layers, hoping to gain insights into the frequency and intensity of seismic events in the region over millennia. For visitors, these earthquakes serve as a powerful reminder of the dynamic nature of Yosemite's landscape. They underscore the fact that the park's iconic features, its towering cliffs, deep valleys, and cascading waterfalls, are the result of ongoing geological processes, including seismic activity. Park officials have used this seismic episode as an opportunity to educate visitors about earthquake safety. They've updated emergency protocols, installed new informational signage, and are conducting regular safety briefings for park staff and visitors alike. As Yosemite navigates this period of increased seismic activity, one question looms large. How might these earthquakes be reshaping the park's iconic geological features, and what hidden changes could be occurring beneath the surface? Yosemite's geological ballet. Now, let's embark on a journey through time and rock to uncover the secrets of Yosemite's ever-changing face. Yosemite's geological story began over 500 million years ago, when the region was submerged beneath an ancient sea. Layers of sediment accumulated on the ocean floor, eventually compressing into sedimentary rocks. Around 200 million years ago, tectonic forces initiated a dramatic transformation. As the Pacific Plate collided with the North American Plate, it triggered a process called subduction, where one plate dives beneath another. This collision sparked the birth of a volcanic arc, similar to today's Andes Mountains. Magma rose from deep within the earth, cooling slowly beneath the surface to form the granitic rocks that now dominate Yosemite's landscape. This process continued for millions of years, building up layer upon layer of granite. About 80 million years ago, the granite that would become Yosemite began its journey to the surface. Tectonic forces pushed the Sierra Nevada region upward, while erosion gradually stripped away the overlying rock. This uplift continues today, with the Sierra Nevada rising at an average rate of 1 millimeter per year. The most recent major geological event to shape Yosemite occurred during the Pleistocene epoch, between 2.6 million and 11,700 years ago. During this time, massive glaciers advanced and retreated multiple times, carving out the U-shaped valleys and polishing the granite surfaces we see today. The last significant glacial period in Yosemite ended about 15,000 years ago. Today, Yosemite's landscape continues to evolve through various geological processes, including weathering, erosion, and yes, seismic activity. The park sits atop a complex network of faults, part of the larger Sierra Nevada fault system. While not as active as the infamous San Andreas Fault to the west, these faults still produce regular seismic activity. The recent earthquakes in Yosemite, while noteworthy, are not unprecedented. Historical records and geological evidence suggest that the park has experienced significant seismic events in the past. For instance, the 1872 Owens Valley earthquake, with an estimated magnitude of 7.4 to 7.9, was strongly felt in Yosemite, despite its epicenter being about 100 miles away. More recently, in 1980, a series of earthquakes known as the Mammoth Lakes earthquakes shook the eastern Sierra Nevada. The largest of these reached a magnitude of 6.3 and caused notable ground deformation and numerous landslides in the region. The earthquakes of 2024, while smaller in magnitude, have provided valuable insights into Yosemite's current geological state. Seismologists from the USGS have been analyzing the data collected from these events, revealing fascinating details about the park's underlying structure. For instance, the spatial distribution of the 2024 earthquakes suggests they occurred along previously unmapped fault lines. The main shock of the May 25th earthquake, with a magnitude 4.8, was followed by a series of aftershocks, with over 200 recorded in the week following the main event. This pattern is typical of earthquakes in the region and helps scientists understand the stress distribution in the Earth's crust. Interestingly, the depth of these earthquakes varied significantly. While most occurred at depths between 5 and 15 kilometers, some were as shallow as 2 kilometers, while others reached depths of up to 20 kilometers. This variation in depth provides valuable information about the structure of the crust beneath Yosemite. One of the most visible impacts of the recent seismic activity has been an increase in rockfalls. Yosemite experiences an average of 80 rockfalls per year, but in the month following the May 25th earthquake, park officials recorded over 60 significant rockfall events. The largest of these involved approximately 1,000 cubic meters of rock detaching from the face of El Capitan, equivalent to about 3,000 tons. These rockfalls are more than just spectacular displays of nature's power. They're a crucial part of Yosemite's geological evolution. Over time, they help shape the park's iconic cliffs and contribute to the formation of talus slopes at their bases. By studying the frequency and volume of these rockfalls, geologists can better understand the long-term evolution of Yosemite's landscape. The earthquakes have also affected Yosemite's hydrology. Following the May 25th quake, several springs in the park experienced changes in flow rate. Some increased their output, while others decreased or even temporarily stopped flowing. These changes are likely due to shifts in underground fracture systems that channel groundwater. Perhaps most intriguingly, the recent seismic activity has provided new insights into the deep structure beneath Yosemite. By analyzing how seismic waves propagate through the Earth, scientists have been able to create more detailed models of the crust and upper mantle in this region. These models reveal a complex structure with variations in rock density and composition at different depths. For instance, they've identified a zone of lower seismic velocity at depths of 15, 25 kilometers, which may represent a region of partially molten rock. This discovery has important implications for understanding the potential for future volcanic activity in the region, although it's important to note that the risk of eruption remains extremely low. The earthquakes have also highlighted the ongoing uplift of the Sierra Nevada. GPS measurements taken before and after the May 25th quake show that parts of Yosemite Valley were lifted by as much as 1.5 centimeters during the event. While this might seem small, it's a significant movement in geological terms and contributes to the long-term evolution of the landscape. One of the most fascinating aspects of Yosemite's geology is how it interacts with the park's ecosystems. The recent earthquakes have provided an opportunity to study these interactions in real time. For example, changes in groundwater flow following the quakes have affected soil moisture levels in some areas, potentially influencing plant growth patterns. Wildlife behavior has also been impacted. In the days following the larger quakes, park biologists noted changes in animal movement patterns, particularly among larger mammals like black bears and deer. These observations are helping scientists understand how ecosystems respond to and recover from seismic events. The geological processes shaping Yosemite operate on vastly different timescales. While an earthquake might last only seconds, its effects can persist for years or even centuries. Conversely, the gradual uplift of the Sierra Nevada, occurring at just millimeters per year, has been ongoing for millions of years and will likely continue for millions more. This interplay of rapid and gradual change is what makes Yosemite's geology so fascinating. The park we see today is just a snapshot in an ongoing process of transformation. The recent earthquakes, while significant in human terms, are merely the latest chapter in a story that has been unfolding for hundreds of millions of years. As we look to the future, several questions emerge. How will ongoing seismic activity continue to shape Yosemite's landscape? What new geological discoveries might be made as we develop more advanced technologies for studying the Earth's crust? And how might climate change interact with geological processes to alter the park's ecosystems? Yosemite will continue to change. The forces that created its towering cliffs, deep valleys, and cascading waterfalls are still at work today. Every earthquake, every rockfall, every millimeter of uplift is part of this ongoing process of transformation. As visitors stand in awe before Half Dome or feel the spray of Yosemite Falls, they're witnessing not just the result of past geological events, but an active, evolving landscape. The recent earthquakes serve as a powerful reminder of the dynamic nature of our planet and the ongoing geological processes that shape the world around us. How have these seismic events and the park's ever-changing nature affected the people who call Yosemite home and the millions who visit each year? What measures are being taken to ensure safety and preserve this natural wonder for future generations? Yosemite's response and recovery. When the earth trembled beneath Yosemite National Park in 2024, it sent ripples far beyond the physical landscape. The series of earthquakes that shook this beloved natural wonder had profound impacts on the local community, park operations, and the millions of visitors who flock to Yosemite each year. In the immediate aftermath of the earthquakes, park officials sprang into action. The National Park Service, or NPS, activated its Emergency Operations Center, coordinating with local, state, and federal agencies to assess damage and ensure public safety. Within hours of the May 25th magnitude 4.8 earthquake, teams from the USGS and the California Geological Survey were on the ground, conducting rapid assessments of key infrastructure and geological hazards. One of the most pressing concerns was the stability of Yosemite's iconic rock formations. El Capitan, Half Dome, and other popular climbing destinations underwent thorough inspections. Using advanced LiDAR technology, geologists created detailed 3D models of these formations, comparing them to pre-earthquake scans to identify areas of instability. While the major formations remained largely intact, numerous new cracks and potential rockfall hazards were identified. As a precautionary measure, several popular climbing routes were temporarily closed. The El Capitan Meadow area, a favorite spot for visitors to view climbers, was restricted due to an increased risk of rockfalls. These closures had immediate impacts on the park's rock climbing community. Alex Honnold, renowned free solo climber and Yosemite regular, expressed his concerns. The changes to El Cap are subtle but significant. Routes we've climbed for years now have new challenges and risks. It's a reminder that even these massive walls are constantly evolving. The earthquakes also affected Yosemite's extensive trail network. Park officials reported that approximately 23% of the park's 750 miles of trails suffered some form of damage. This ranged from minor cracks and shifts to more severe issues like landslides and collapsed sections. The popular Mist Trail, which leads to Vernal Fall, was among those hit hardest, with a section near the top of the fall requiring extensive repairs. To address these challenges, the NPS partnered with the California Conservation Corps and the Yosemite Conservancy to launch an ambitious trail restoration project. Over the summer of 2024, more than 200 volunteers contributed over 15,000 hours to repair and reinforce damaged trails. Their efforts not only restored access to beloved areas of the park, but also implemented new design features to improve trail resilience against future seismic events. The earthquake's impact extended beyond the park's natural features. Yosemite's aging infrastructure, much of it dating back to the mid-20th century, suffered significant damage. The historic Ahwahnee Hotel, a National Historic Landmark built in 1927, required extensive repairs to its stone facade and chimney. The park's water system, already strained by years of drought and increasing visitor numbers, experienced multiple breaks and leaks, necessitating emergency repairs and water conservation measures. To address these infrastructure challenges, the NPS secured $75 million in emergency funding from Congress. This money is being used not just for repairs, but for a comprehensive modernization program aimed at making Yosemite's facilities more resilient to future seismic events. The initiative includes retrofitting buildings, upgrading utility systems, and implementing state-of-the-art monitoring technologies. One innovative aspect of this program is the installation of a network of smart sensors throughout the park. Developed in partnership with Stanford University's Department of Geophysics, these sensors provide real-time data on ground movement, helping park officials identify potential hazards before they become critical. The system has already proved its worth, detecting several minor landslides in remote areas of the park that might otherwise have gone unnoticed. The earthquakes also had significant economic impacts on the surrounding communities. Yosemite National Park typically welcomes over 4 million visitors annually, generating an estimated $624 million in economic activity for the region. However, in the months following the earthquakes, visitor numbers dropped by nearly 30% as people postponed or canceled their trips due to safety concerns and park closures. To support these struggling businesses, the Small Business Administration established a special loan program for companies affected by the Yosemite earthquakes. The program offers low-interest loans of up to $2 million to help businesses recover and adapt to the changed circumstances. Additionally, Visit California, the state's tourism board, launched a $10 million marketing campaign titled Yosemite Strong to encourage visitors to return to the park and surrounding areas. The seismic activity also prompted a reevaluation of emergency preparedness in the region. Mariposa County, where much of Yosemite is located, worked with the California Office of Emergency Services to update its earthquake response plan. The new plan includes improved evacuation procedures, enhanced communication systems, and strategies for providing emergency services in remote areas. Education has played a crucial role in the recovery process. The NPS, in partnership with the Yosemite Conservancy, developed a new educational program called Living Earth to help visitors understand the geological forces shaping the park. The program includes interactive exhibits at visitor centers, ranger-led Quake walks, and a popular smartphone app that provides real-time information about seismic activity in the park. For the indigenous communities with deep ties to Yosemite, the earthquakes held special significance. The Southern Sierra Miwok Nation, who have called the Yosemite area home for thousands of years, view the seismic activity as part of the natural cycle of the land. A Miwok elder explained, "Our stories tell of the earth shaking and changing. This is not new to us. It's a reminder that we must live in harmony with the land, not try to control it." The Miwok have been actively involved in the park's recovery efforts, sharing traditional knowledge about land management and sustainable practices. Their insights have been particularly valuable in efforts to stabilize slopes and prevent erosion in earthquake-affected areas. Looking to the future, the events of 2024 have sparked new research initiatives aimed at better understanding and predicting seismic activity in the Sierra Nevada. The USGS, in collaboration with UC Berkeley's Seismological Laboratory, has launched a multi-year study of the region's fault systems. This research could have implications far beyond Yosemite, potentially improving earthquake forecasting across California and beyond. Meanwhile, climate scientists are studying how seismic activity might interact with climate change in the coming decades. There's concern that as glaciers continue to retreat and precipitation patterns shift, the risk of earthquake-triggered landslides could increase. The Nature Conservancy is leading a project to model these potential impacts and develop adaptation strategies. As Yosemite moves forward, the lessons learned from the 2024 earthquakes are shaping a new approach to park management. There's a growing recognition that change, whether gradual or sudden, is an inherent part of this landscape. The goal now is not just to preserve Yosemite as it is, but to foster its resilience in the face of future challenges. What's your take on Yosemite's seismic activity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Yosemite's geological drama, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us out. And for more fascinating stories about our planet's natural wonders and the challenges they face, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.